Well, tonight we have a new report from November of last year, shedding light on the original investigation into the abuse and death of an Oswego County teen. Good evening, I'm Matt Mulcahy.
And I'm Megan Coleman. 17-year-old Jordan Brooks of Palermo died 10 months ago. He had cerebral palsy, and Oswego County investigators say his death was caused by neglect and abuse from his parents. In the months leading up to his death, Brooks's teachers and medical aides filed more than 15 reports with Child Protective Services, painting a picture of the conditions he was living in. In court documents, some school staff say their reports were met with hostility and annoyance from CPS. Since Jordan's death, both his mother, Lisa Waldron, and stepfather, Anthony, have been arrested and charged with criminally negligent homicide and manslaughter. Both posted bail and are no longer in custody. That report from November of last year was uncovered from the New York State Office of Children and Family Services.
That report found that Oswego County's Department of Social Services did not fully investigate at least 2 claims of abuse made on Jordan Brooks' behalf well before he died. That report, part of our team coverage tonight. Our Maggie DeRosiers is live outside Mexico School tonight with a breakdown of the report reviewed by our entire team.
Connor White is finding out how a staffing shortage may have played a part in Jordan's situation being ignored. But let's get right to that report just into us tonight. Maggie DeRosiers is live in Mexico. Maggie?
This is the report. It is 14 pages long, and although it doesn't mention Jordan Brooks by name, it does continue to show us some other details and dates that we're aware of. It gives us heartbreaking insight into what investigators saw before and after Jordan died.
The report was filed on November 9th, 6 months after Jordan Brooks' mom, Lisa Waldron, says she gave him a bath, then called 911 when he stopped breathing. It outlines the Oswego County Department of Social Services involvement after that and looks at some investigated reports involving Jordan. The report says Jordan weighed just 55 pounds when he died and had sores covering his back. It reported those sores were so severe his tailbone was exposed, as was a hip implant. Oswego County DSS noted 5 days after Jordan's death, his wheelchair was outside the home, rusting and still smelling strongly of urine. The pad was black and covered in mold. It deemed his sibling in the home was doing okay, and that sibling denied the children were ever deprived of food. The report says Jordan was last seen by a doctor in September of 2020. The doctor did not weigh him, taking Lisa Waldron's word that Jordan weighed 114 pounds at the time. The doctor requested a swallow test for Jordan, but that never happened according to records. Lisa Waldron said the test was delayed due to COVID, but still wasn't completed when the doctor sent a new request. This placed Jordan at risk of choking on food and failing to eat the right foods. One report said Lisa Waldron told Oswego DSS the test was elective, and they took her word for it as well. It was not an elected procedure for Jordan since 2019. The report also said DSS did not do its due diligence in fully interviewing Jordan after complaints.
These reports are filed after every child death where there is suspected abuse. And while the report mentions there were shortcomings looking into some complaints, when asked if there's recommended actions for any local or state policy changes or if any prevention activities from the review should occur, both of those no boxes were checked.
Our coverage continues now on the death of Oswego County 17-year-old Jordan Brooks. Good evening. I'm Matt Mulcahy.
And I'm Megan Coleman. Investigators say the Palermo teen who had cerebral palsy died due to severe neglect and child abuse from his mother and stepfather. Our team coverage on his death continues now. Samantha Croston spoke with a criminal justice professor about the charges the parents are facing.
And Connor White is looking into funding and staffing issues in the Oswego County Social Services Department. Sam Croston begins live in Syracuse tonight. Sam.
Well, Jordan's parents, Anthony and Lisa Waldron, are facing 3 separate charges. This is after a 10-month-long investigation. Today, I spoke with a criminal justice professor who says that these crimes are complicated and that proving them is going to require a lot of documentation. The first charge that the Waldrons are facing is endangering the welfare of a physically disabled person, which John Jay College criminal justice professor Lauren Shapiro explains as a kind of neglect.
If you left a person in a diaper that's wet over time, it's going to cause sores on the person's bottom, and it can cause other kinds of infection, and it's just uncomfortable.
Something investigators say did in fact happen to Jordan Brooks. The second charge is criminally negligent homicide. Shapiro says this is similar to the prior charge in that there's no intent to harm, but someone was still hurt.
That's why they're charging them with this as opposed to first-degree murder, where there is an intention that has been formulated prior to the action.
The Waldrons face a third charge, second-degree manslaughter. Shapiro says that this means the prosecution does not have to prove that the Waldrons had intent to kill their son.
When the person's health deteriorates over time, you may not have been trying to cause the death of the person, but by your negligence, it occurs.
Shapiro says one way evidence can be gathered for a child abuse case is by interviewing people involved in the child's life.
And find out if, in their observation of this child, were there different neglectful behaviors occurring that endangered the child's well-being.
And in the court documents that we received into the Oswego County investigation of Jordan's case, there were over a dozen written testimonials detailing the ways that Jordan had been abused in the past.
Data shows children in Oswego County suffer from abuse and maltreatment at 3 times the state average. The Oswego County legislature adding just 1 senior caseworker position in the 2022 budget and no frontline caseworkers. It left the Democrat minority leader in the Oswego County legislature frustrated. He says the system itself needs an overhaul, and his colleagues, he says, have been left in the dark. Here's CBS 5's Connor White.
Oswego County has faced a crisis in social service staffing since at least 2017, according to county records documenting concerns from Social Services Commissioner Stacey Alford. In that time, the rate of child maltreatment has gone up from 32.7 to 46 kids per 1,000.
I'm looking at these caseworkers that are overworked, underpaid, and they have a caseload that is, I think, is unacceptable.
Oswego County Legislature Minority Leader Frank Castilla, one of 2 Democrats on the legislature, searching for answers. He doesn't have an exact figure, but knows county social services is losing workers.
I know definitely that there are vacancies right now.
The Oswego County budget for 2022 shows that salaries overall for adult and family services has gone up by about $400,000 from 2021, only adding a single senior caseworker position. And Castilla says they aren't paying as much as surrounding counties.
If we're losing good people because of money, we should be looking at to pay them equal amounts as the other counties.
Castilla calling for an independent investigation of how Oswego County Social Services operates.
It can't go on again. We can't have another family, another child lost in Oswego County.
In a pre-recorded message, still not accepting an interview, County Chairman James Weatherup says Oswego County is investigating.
Oswego County is committed to being as transparent with our findings as is allowable.
A message Castilla didn't know was coming from the Republican, the minority leader claiming his Democratic colleagues are left in the dark.